Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Jai Sri Ram. Welcome to our next episode in our complete reading of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. By the time we stopped our story in the previous episode, we knew that Vishwamitra has asked Dasharatha to send Sri Ramachandra with him. After a lot of dilly-dallying, Dasharatha has accepted the request. And they all started off. They came to Saryu Nadi's banks, and on the banks of Saryu river, Vishwamitra Maharshi gave Bala and Atibala to Sri Ramachandra, and Sri Ramachandra later on gave those astras to those Shaktis to Lakshmana. And then the next morning, Vishwamitra wakes Sri Ramachandra using the verse Kausalya Suprajarama Purva Sandhya Pravartate Uttishthana Shaddola Kartavyam Daiva Mahnikam. Now, what is that Kartavyam and all? We are going to see now. Kartavyam Daiva Mahnikam. That was a wonderful phrase that he used. Now, moving on. So, Sri Ramachandra woke up. He then went to the river, took the bath, and did his morning things, and then took the bath. And then he also did the Sandhya Vandana. And after that, they started walking from there. As they were walking, they saw a Rishi Ashrama. It was, after walking for quite some time, they see this Rishi Ashrama. And then, see, we need to read these chapters where Sri Ramachandra goes along with Valmiki Maharshi very, very carefully. And these are the stories that every kid should know, because Sri Ramachandra shows why curiosity is extremely important. When you're following a teacher and you see something which you don't understand, it's extremely important that you ask the teacher about it. See, here Vishwamitra is the Guru, Sri Ramachandra is a Sishya, he is walking behind. Now Sri Ramachandra there, he saw a Rishi Ashrama and he asks Vishwamitra, Hey Bhagavan, hey Vishwamitra, do you really know what this ashrama is? And if you think I am good enough to know about it, please tell me about this particular ashrama. This is what Sri Ramachandra says. Now immediately Vishwamitra is extremely happy and he says, Hey Sri Rama, this is the place where Manmatha lost his body. Very interesting, right? We all know that Lord Shiva was doing the tapasya in Kailasa, and that's where Manmadha comes. He puts an arrow, he tries to put an arrow, and then Lord Shiva opens his third eye, and then Manmadha is reduced to ashes because he loses his body. That's the normal story we all know. But here in Valmiki Ramayana, definitely the story has been told in a different way. And here it has been told like, Krutodvaham tu devesam gachantam samarudganam dharshayamasa durmedha hunkrutascha mahatmana. So Vishwamitra is saying that at one point of time Paramashiva, Lord Shiva, did his tapasya here. Then Manmadha, then he had his body with him. Paramashiva Krutodvaham means he got married and he is going back. So, and then he was going back with Parvati Devi and all the Devi Devatas surrounding Shiva, all of them were returning back. Then here the procession was passing through this place, and this is where Durmedha means Manmadha became Durmedha. He had too much of a feeling that even Shiva got married just because of his banas, or because Manmadha is a god who creates love, right? So he was trying to tell Shiva that I am the person behind your marriage. That's what he tries to tell to Shiva, and Shiva, who gets angry, he opens his third eye and Manmadha loses his body. So that's what Apadagdhasya Raudrena Chakshusha Raghunandana Visiryanta Sariratsvat Sarvagatrani Durmatehe. So he opened his third eye and Manmadha's body, it just got burnt away, all the parts of his body, but he still lives. That's the trouble, right? He still lives without the body, and no one knows when he's shooting his arrow on whom. Okay, Lord Shiva he was able to handle it, but mere mortals like us, we can't. So this is the place where Manmadha lost his entire body. So the body parts are called as Angas because Manmadha lost all his body parts. This place has came to be known as Anga Desa. So the place where Manmadha became Ananga, or the person where he lost his entire body, that place came to be known as Ananga. Okay. Ananga iti vikhyatah tada prabhudiragava nachanga vishaya sriman yantrangam pramumochaha. Okay. So again, wonderful lesson by Vishwamitra to Sri Ramachandra, where he says, okay, you have, see, Manmadha here has a lot of powers. He can make kama vasana, or he can be a catalyst for kama to develop between two people, or he can even be the creator of kama between two people. But this is a power that was given to him by Shiva. Somebody might say Narayana, but as far as I am concerned, Shiva and Narayana are one and the same. Shiva Hridayam Vishnu, Vishnu Hridayam Shiva. Right? So they both are the same. So they both are, I mean, they both are two forms of manifestation of one supreme self. So they both are one actually for me. So Shiva or Vishnu, supreme power, has given some of that power to Manmadha, and Manmadha, out of his ahankara, out of his pride, he thought that it was he who was doing all this stuff. He forgot that there is a bigger power that is controlling this entire universe, and he tried to show his ahankara. He became a durmedha. He showed his ahankara, and he ended up losing his body. Now imagine a 12-year-old or a 15-year-old listening to this intently, and then he gets the lesson, okay, come what may, whatever power I might hold, I should not misuse it, or I might end up becoming another Manmadha, right? That's the lesson that Rama is getting here, and that's the beauty of a guru. Whenever a Shishya asks him any questions, the Guru actually shows the real path, the path into which they need to go, right? Now, they started walking again from there, and they went to the ashram. The rishis over there, they came, they gave them the arghya, padya, everything, and they showed them a nice place to stay. And one more thing that Vishwamitra says is, these rishis who are there, they are here from the days when Shiva did the tapasya here. So these rishis, they are completely free of sin. Again, another lesson here. When you do tapasya on a daily basis, when you do japa on a daily basis, so japa is our form of tapasya. So japato nasti patakam. So when you do japa on a daily basis, you, after a decade or so, you end up in a place where sin won't touch you. That's a normal meaning that we can get. But these rishis who are there from the days of Shiva, I mean, when Shiva was doing tapasya, that's pretty much the start of the Srishti. That means these people are doing so much tapasya, and when you're too much involved in it, yeah, there is no scope for sin in your life. So these rishis were doing the tapasya, and they are free from sins. The next morning, Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana wake up. Guru also wakes up. Vishwamitra also wakes up, and then again they perform their morning ablutions, and then they do their Sandhya Vandana and everything, and then when they are starting, because they have to cross the river Saryu, they are at the place where Saryu is actually meeting Ganga. They are at the sangamasthana. So those rishis, they arrange for a boat so that they can cross the river quite easily. And when they are in the boat, and when the boat is on the river, and when they are moving across, Sri Ramachandra hears a loud noise, and that noise is not stopping. It's constantly there. So Sri Ramachandra asks, why is there this loud noise? Hey Rishi, can you tell me? Or hey Rishi, I am requesting you to tell me. Vishwamitra says, you know, Chaturmukha Brahma, he created a lake called Manas Sarovar, and the Manas Sarovar came out because, or the Manas Sarovar is named as Manas Sarovar because it came out of his manas, or from his mind, right? And from there this river came out, and that's called Saryu because it has come from Manas Sarovar. The river is named Saryu, and that river is now has done a pradikshina almost near Ayodhya, and now it has come out, and now it is meeting the most important river on earth, which is Ganga. And since these two rivers are meeting and two big streams of water are meeting, you keep listening this sound here, Hey Rama. That's where this sound is coming from. So they both, Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana, both do a namaskara to the Guru, and then all three of them, as they reach the Sangamasthana, they again do the namaskara to the river, because the rivers, the Nadi Sangamasthanas are considered extremely holy, and many people believe that they actually have the power to remove our sins. And I mean, anyone who takes a bath in Ganga, or anyone that's, he is free from sins, right? So, or he is free from papam. Ganga takes away papam, right? So this is again told to Sri Ramachandra by Vishwamitra, and they do the namaskara to Sangamasthana and move ahead. And as they cross the river, they enter a big forest, a forest where they see a lot of rich trees, beautiful trees, but they don't see a lot of animals or people over there. Sri Ramachandra again has a doubt as to what this forest is and why it is not inhabited. Now, what is that forest? What will Vishwamitra tell? Well, that we'll see in our next episode. Jai Shri Ram. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah. Sarve santu niramayaha. Sarve bhadrani pasyantu. Ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om sarvam stuti sasam rasvam sharanarvindat pranamastu. Om tat sat swasti.